Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm about to do a little taste test. Well,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast, episode 438. We have been blessed with a double jornada, so we'll be talking about match week 12 and 13, which is undergoing right now. Chivas had back-to-back victories. That'll be the big story tonight. And some other partial scores. We're also going to be talking about the new appointed president of Santos Laguna. Very controversial there. But of course, we are live on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces. Joining me tonight is my good friend and colleague, Joel.
uh, they also had Siete Leguas, which was really good, and it's cheap. It's a good cheap. I mean, a cheap price. It's a good price. But dude, they ran out.
Yeah.
That's why I went. I went to try to get me some, and it's gone. The thing that they're gone is a lot of these they don't make like like big amounts, like if Don Julio Patron type
Yeah.
that dominate the market. They make a lot. These they make way less because it's more of the traditional of way they make tequila, and it's like a slower process. But I'll let you know throughout the pod, Jaime.
Yeah.
My I'll let you know.
You
Did
know,
you get that código or you just
no, for those listening, Joel is really when it comes to tequila, he's a connoisseur here. He put me on some game, and yeah, I didn't really know. I mean, I know that they make artisanal tequila, and those are small
yeah?
batches, and they're
Oh
typically
yeah, yeah. It's
like you
gonna be really
mentioned,
expensive.
they use the traditional methods. They try to avoid using like machines and all that. It's all like by hand, and all the old methods of
Yeah.
making tequila, and it's only in certain regions. And I didn't know that the tequila sometimes that we get out here, there's additives.
Yeah,
There's color, there's like things added to the tequila, which I didn't know. I always assumed it was purebred, but
the same,
apparently,
dude.
yeah. So it's
And then this is the big one to know too, Jaime, that in Max they water it down.
yes, it
So
has to
it's
be
like
35 or less percent.
yeah, and here it's stronger. It's 40% in the U.S. So the U.S. Alcohol has to be 40%.
That's
So
correct.
we get that. You could still get that in Mex, but I mean, when they make in big amounts, like for people that buy in big quantities, because like in parties and whatnot, it's pretty common in Mex.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of tequila. Um, so that's kind of where it goes. It's
Yeah.
like and if you're gonna mix it, like if you're gonna mix it,
Yeah.
You seen those drinks they fucking make in Mex with a giant fucking bowl,
Yes, sir.
like 5 people? You probably drank from one of those, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit! You have to tell me sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the touristy trap. It's not a tourist trap. I did the tequila tour when I was in Guadalajara. My hotel offered,
Oh, nice.
and they pick you up. You get there and you get fucked up, and they take you to this. They took us to this place where they made these big ass I don't know if they're called what are they cantaritos, but they're like huge.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
it's
son
like
cantados.
squirt and like OJ
Oh
and
shit!
and
Yes.
they make it all in front of you, and then hella tequila, and you're just like, yes, bro. It was the best I've ever had in my life, and it was fun. And this is
Sweet.
tradition. Chivas used to take shots of tequila
Oh
before they
yeah.
started their game, so
The,
it's only fair
the
that we take.
Campbellissimo players.
It's only
You're
fair that
right,
we
Jaime.
that we drink before we start this podcast. It's only fair.
God damn! I just took one. It's good. This soda is good. It's good. That shit hits.
you're
Growing
supposed to
hairs on my chest.
like they taught me how to take shots in
No,
Mexico
like the
where you like
para arriba, para abajo or something like
you no you
that.
take a deep breath, and then you take the shot, and then you exhale, and then you don't get that bite that typically people get.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I want it. I'm all for that, Jaime. I want the abuse.
I want to
I'm gonna
feel
tell
it.
my wife.
Yeah.
That's because he loves me.
Currently, right now, we have Mazatlan and Tigres at 0-0, 47th minute. But earlier today, Chivas came back from a 1-0 defeat. They were losing 1-0 early in the match. Within the first 5 minutes, Piojo, unfortunately, Alvarado was injured on that goal and was subbed out immediately. So we didn't have Piojo for the whole game. Cade Cowell came in on the second half, scored 1-1. Ricardo Marin made it 2-1. And then 3-1 by Pocho Guzman. Necaxa did get a consolation prize goal in the 79th minute, 3-2 your final score. But Chivas just come off of beating Pachuca. And I will say, for us, getting a coach that abandoned us in the middle of the season, for us to bounce back from that and win 2 games in a row, it's definitely a good feel for us.
And against Pachuca, that was my concern because Chivas is going up against a team that normally has Chivas number. You see the head to head. Pachuca's that one team that be whooping on Chivas. So it was great to see um, this coach debut and get that win over the Tuzos. And this goes regardless to how they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, some teams just for whatever reason don't have your number
Yeah.
for a good while. So it's good. That was a good win, and now Necaxa and we had mentioned it in the pod. Uh, Chivas Chivas schedule would be lighting it up a bit because
Yep.
quite a few
Yep.
really difficult games against clubs that teams that have stronger squads, um, better players overall. And so, and we had been talking about it here that the team's not really playing bad. The result wasn't there, but they weren't exactly getting ran through. They weren't getting outplayed. They were they were doing their thing. They just couldn't score. The long time Chua problem, but so not that surprised that they're getting those W's, but really happy that things are working out for the
I have
club.
to ask you, if you build the machine or you build the system, does it really matter who's the coach? And the reason why I ask is
No,
because, you know, Chivas with Gago and Chivas without Gago,
yeah,
the team almost looks the same. But, for them to win against Pachuca with an interim, because I don't know if he's going to be the coach.
no, they talked about it, Jaime. The main dude of I forget his name. He because I don't think they did a press conference. I don't think they even
No.
did a press conference.
Uh-uh.
And we had that guy. I forgot. He's like the committee of the technical committee of sporting or some shit like that,
Yeah.
and which I'm downplaying, but it's really important because what they do is they study players, they study coaches, so it's like uh, it's just within the club, and that's like they have already like a plan of what they want the team to do, which is like typically when you bring in a coach, you ultimately let them build the team and you let them bring in players,
Right.
and that didn't happen with Gago, not even with Pauno. They didn't say bring me, you know, X, Y, and Z. I don't think they. I don't think. I don't think they brought Gago anyone. I think you were mad in the preseason saying they brought a bunch of scrubs.
They did.
Uh, so they, and I think for me that was one of the reasons he left, because I think if you're Gago and the dude behind you pulling the strings is what the fuck is that his name? It's one of the main promoters for Liga MX, um, Bayarnik, and he fucking can't get his players in the club. He's like, fuck it, get him out. Probably
Yeah.
something, and that was one of the. I was surprised because I did not know Bragarnik was. I didn't know of that relation. I just didn't pay attention to Gago overall, but he had his claws in there. But that's what you want to do ultimately if you're a promoter and you're a coach. You want to like, all right, I got 4 or 5 players for you.
Yep.
And that hasn't been happening. And so I think Jaime Chivas has had this community going on for a while. Um, and a lot of the things they're doing is stuff that the club had done before, back when Westerhoff and Nestor. Nestor details it really good in the La Volpismo podcast. If you haven't seen it, I think if you're a Chivas fan, you
Yeah.
have to see that podcast. It's must. He kind of breaks it down how they were working with, like what Hans the tequila Jaime it's talking what Hans, he talks about what Hans Westerhoff brought in, and it's a lot of like kind of what they do, because Hans is like from the Ajax Dutch system,
Yeah.
and how they're like how they would have all the inferiores, everything playing the exact same way. So it's like if a player comes in, he just slides in, and it's like no problem. You don't have to tell him what he needs to do, because he's been doing it since the minor leagues. He's been playing the exact same way, and that's kind of I feel that they're kind of doing that. They've been doing that with the team, and even with players, and their focus on youth. um, and so I think the coach, I don't think they matter that big to that extent, where they're just gonna let a coach come in and rewrite everything.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to like follow the script.
Yeah, for sure. I have a couple of things. Number one, going back to the Pachuca game, the first goal that was scored by Piojo, everybody on the Chivas team touched the ball in that build up. It was a long sequence, but everywhere, starting from Tala all the way up to Ricardo Marin, who beautifully set up the assist for Roberto on that goal. Um, and number two, from that Pachuca game, holy shit, Tala had shades of Osvaldo Sanchez. San Osvaldo, he had a really good game against Pachuca, deserved the clean sheet and deserves some recognition. He's definitely one of the keepers in form right now in Liga MX. And then the other thing, going off of today's victory against Necaxa, just catching up with the highlights. Ricardo Marin, holy shit, what a fucking golazo he scored. A nice little heel flick to get the 2-1. And then Pocho got the monkey off his back, got his goal. So those are two very important goals. My thing is, on top of us beating Pachuca 2-0, I was happy to see Gago get absolutely dismantled on his debut with Boca. They lost to Tigre 3-0. So things that you love to see, right? You love seeing your ex-coach just do absolutely dog shit. And it makes you wonder like why he left. And I heard he's getting a pay cut, and I also heard that Boca has not paid Chivas the 2 million release clause. So Yeah, that's just like my last final thing on Gago. And my question for the panel, looks we have a couple of more people listening. You know, I know that we got these two victories, very important victories, and the team's doing well. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Meaning, do we get a sporting director first and then the coach, or do we go after the coach and then the sporting director? And number two, the team that you just beat, Pachuca, that is the coach that is up for grabs. Do you want Almada for Chivas?
Anyone? I'll just answer the first question. The sporting director should be first if you're going that route. Um, which is, but then again, they have that whole committee, which is kind of the same thing. It's instead of one guy, it's a group. Um, so, and it looks like they're already deciding on the coach. I think that in this instance for Chivas, their GM or their sporting director is more along the lines of, I guess, the face of the team and the guy that speaks out. Probably does some of the he probably does some of the contrataciones.
Yeah. Sporting director, I'm sure will have to come first before the coach, but right now, I mean, there's a lot of coaches with expiring contracts that are tempting. I know Siboldi just exited. Like those rumors said that he's no longer considering the role. Almada, I don't know how much like of a leash he has left with Pachuca. He's a coach that has shown that he can do really well with the youth players, and was at one point even considered for the national team. It would only make sense for him to be a top candidate for Chivas. Imagine what he could do here. And there are the rumors of Almeida returning. I've already had my thoughts on it. I don't want him to tarnish his reputation, come back to Chivas, and like not do well. It's really hard to repeat what he did the first time around. So I just want to leave him untouchable. Like just leave him. Enjoy that we had that, but let's not try to bring him back. I don't know, Rifalo. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Hey, yes, I do. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. So, what
Oh, I think I lost you, Rifalo. I think Twitter may be acting up. Hello, hello.
I could hear you. I don't know if Rifado lost
Oh,
his uh, his space station um, antenna. What was he gonna say? I don't know what he was
I
gonna
don't know what
say.
he's gonna say. Uh,
Probably talk about the youth in the minutes and who did what. Uh, Maybe we could get him back in a bit, Jaime. So as for Almada, I think he's a good candidate. I would pre- preferably me. I like very similar to like River Plate to promote their coaches, like they did with Almeida and they did with Gallardo, and you kind of want those coaches that are fans. I mean, not only fans, they were players. They're Chivas de Corazon, and that's an important element. Right now, I could kind of see why Chivas will go for a more named coach. Kind of, you're kind of selling the club. You have like that Amazon and all that, and kind of have to package it. It's like when you buy those bottles, they come in the nice container, like a square or whatever. I think that's kind of what it is with Chivas right now. So they need someone with some sort of presence to, especially with this club that's been lacking players. They need help. And by players, I mean stars. Like they don't really have it's the type of star player they once had with like Ramon Ramirez, Bofo, Osvaldo.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't had a player of that level. And they brought in a few, but they just been massive fail. Orbelin, it was sad, dude. That was just sad to see. And now with Chicharo, it's almost the same thing. Except I think he got one goal, and I think did Orbelin get one like off a penalty, or did he just never manage to score?
What was that, Joel?
Oh, Hermoso. I think keep saying that Rebelin. Um, the striker that came to Chivas from America. I'm confusing his name.
Uh, like recently?
Hermoso. Yeah, dude.
Oh, este Orbelín, este no, este Peralta.
Yeah, Oribe Peralta. I keep saying Orbelin because of the other guy. Oribe Peralta. He came into the club and it was pretty embarrassing. And
Yeah,
I don't know if he even scored a goal, but he was supposed to be that big,
he scored.
iconic
He
big
scored
player.
one goal.
Right, like a penalty. So kind of like Chicharo, and Chicharo's almost a repeat of that,
Yeah.
which is also sad. And you could tell just how desperate the club is because they did that whole, they did that like very emotional, the welcoming, and they had the coaches, tell them like, hey, good luck and whatnot.
Look, if you got a coach like Guillermo Almada available, you fucking take it. And I'm not saying he's going to be able to recreate the success he had at Pachuca because although he did use a lot of youth players, a lot of them that were Mexican, he also had some, some foreigners, and that does make a difference at the end of the day. I feel like Pachuca always have like a good striker. They have King Solomon right now. Um, but he did win a league title with Pachuca. He also won the Champions League with Pachuca. So, you got to give him his flowers. And I would like to see him at Chivas if we were to go in that direction. As far as like who is, got the reins right now, yeah, he did get off to a great start. Won his debut and then won today. And honestly, like if I'm being a little bit arrogant, looking at the rest of the schedule, there should be no reason for this train to stop anytime soon. We play Puebla on Friday against Chepo. That's going to be a great matchup. And then we're going to play against Pumas. That's a good challenge. Santos, who are doing absolute dog shit. And then we finish the regular season against San Luis. So, you got 3 accessible games and 1 challenge match. So, I think that right now for the rest of the season, you stick with what you got and you finish this through. And, if Chivas continue this momentum, they will not go to the play-in. They'll qualify directly in the top 6. So we'll see how that's going to go for them. And we'll look forward to the off season and seeing what type of leadership changes they'll make.
Is your follow back? See, does he have speaking capabilities?
Who? I
Rifado.
I gave him the invitation to speak again. Hopefully he fixes his audio. Another match I want to call out was the entertaining Clásico del Norte Rayados versus Tigres. I mean, it was pretty one-sided. Monterrey were up 3-0. And then right before halftime, Tigres came back and had 2 goals back to back. But really, the big story, and I might be stealing Rifado's thunder, was Iker Fimbres. This kid looks like Omar Bravo's child. They might have to do a DNA test, but he looks just like a spitting image of Omar Bravo. He had 2 beautiful goals, and this kid is got I think his first start for the team. So it's really impressive to see what he did. And Rayados come out on top 4-2. It was a very entertaining match.
I saw that goal, man. It was a killer strike.
Yeah.
And it's great to be seeing these players popping up. We've had them in the past, and it's crazy to see how we just forgot. We just forgot because if you could go down the line of young players that were falling, Guardado, Chicharo, damn, what's this dude? The guy also from Chivas, Pina Arellano,
Mm-hmm.
Marquez. So we've had Ochoa debuted at like 18 as well, 17. Medina. There's and there's so on and forth to the other clubs as well. Um, it's just that the clubs, the league, they kind of forgot. It's like that they could make good players. It's almost like they lost confidence. Uh, so it's good to start seeing that again. And we were talking about, I think at the start of the year, we were talking about cambio generacional, cambio generacional, the generational change. Because people were trying to push it. And I was like, you can't just start sending players because they're young, you know? They haven't really done much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's like, but we'll see it. Like it'll happen naturally. You'll start seeing these players pop up for their clubs and start doing good and become key players or become first team players. And and we're beginning to see that with different clubs, these players popping up now. And I'm not saying cap them. You give them a season or two to because you have to be consistent. Can't just do a trophies, have like a handful of good games and then you disappear and then you know so but it's good. It's good, all this competition being created now.
Yeah. Rifado, hopefully your audio is back up. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that delay. I love the youth talk. 100% agree with Joel. You know what it is? It's like these clubs, they did forget, but luckily we give them, or the federation has been giving them an incentive. And what I mean by incentive, I basically mean like the metaphorical chancla. Like teams will get, they'll get deducted 3 points if they don't adhere to these rules. And in the short
Oh
tournament, that's
shit.
like a make it or break it. And so,
What's the rule?
I don't know all the specifics, but I do know is it basically ends with point deductions. And so like you got
Mm,
to hit these clubs where it hurts, where it matters. And that's those 3 points is the difference between, play in or not qualifying
that's
for
true.
the Liga. And so like, the stakes are really high, right? And they can't, no team can afford to not adhere to this new rule. And then I just wanted to touch on Almada, not Almeida, but Almada, who this last jornada, and it should be no surprise to anyone, he has the most youth players on his team. Like, yes, he's peppered with King Solomon, with Idrisi. He's
Chaka.
got that luxury, yeah, that he wouldn't have, at Chivas. But this guy is proven youth development. It's like he's got it canned, and I would love for him to join Chivas. I think his time might be up at Pachuca,
Yeah.
and he's pragmatic, so his style would coincide with the Chivas ethos right now, with this like defensive team that like pressures when they have to. I especially love the way we closed out the game today,
Mm-hmm.
where like Padilla is just hustling, everyone's just hustling, and that's something that we would see in an Almada team.
Yeah.
And so I would love him to be our coach. I hope it happens.
Yeah, me too.
But it's political. We don't know if Pachuca will let him go or Grupo
Mm.
Pachuca will let him go.
We've done a
Um,
lot of business with Grupo Pachuca though.
yeah, yeah, but only to their benefit. Like if you look, like we bought Pocho, who's like a dud for us, but they made a good amount of money. Who else did we buy from there?
We've done
Um,
so like if you go back, Kota
Orbelin?
Kota was we brought him on loan. In exchange, they took Pocho. And then also from the Leon side, we took Gallito and we took Guli Peña. right? So we've done business with Pachuca plenty of times.
We also bought the Orbelin Pineda from them, who had like a stellar
I thought
breakout season with Pachuca.
he was at Querétaro, no?
Was he? Oh, I thought. My bad. Yeah, they look
Yeah.
the same. The jerseys look the same.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've done a lot of business with them. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bofo came from Pachuca back in the early 2000s. We also sold Venado Venida to Pachuca. We sold Chofis to Pachuca. So, yeah, I mean,
That's true.
yeah, we've done a lot of business with them. But to be fair, yeah, it's mainly been to their benefit. Um, and I think if you are Pachuca, yeah, you might want to let Almada go, but to keep him in the league is kind of a threat because who's gonna know how to beat you better than him?
That's true. That's true. But also, like, he was slated for the national team role, and after Aguirre's World Cup, that might be up in, that might be open to him again. I would think he's the sort of guy that would get like a whole cycle, or like that we would try to give him a whole cycle, lest things go
I
wrong.
think that ship has sailed. I mean, why would you put Rafa Marquez as the assistant if that's not going to be your next national team coach after Aguirre? I think that was, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, they presented it that way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But things could go really sour, and then
They abandoned the
you know,
project. Yeah.
yeah, Rafa could be collateral damage.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't think we'll have, like, it would have to be really, really bad. Like, we're already in the World Cup, right? So it would have to be like 0-3, right? Like you lose all three games. That's and even then, who knows? Even then, who knows?
Well, yeah, he's signed for like what, eight? No, not 8 years, 6 years. So if they were to sack him after the World Cup, they gotta pay him 4 years, which is quite handsomely. I'm guessing he's getting about 2.5 a year. That's my guess.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in the off season. Right now, Cheers are looking good, 7th position. So they are very close from directly qualifying without having to go through the play-in. Meanwhile, America are in 10th, just hanging on to a play-in spot. Necaxa is behind them with 13 points. So they have a little bit of insurance there. Necaxa lost their match. So America has the opportunity, I believe, tomorrow to try and close that gap. Cruz Azul, man, first place, business as usual for them, but it's also Cruz Azul, right? So regular season doesn't matter. It's how you close the regular season, the Liguilla. We have Ricardo. Finally, we see some life from him. He's been in hiding ever since America been sucking it up. Can you hear us, Ricardo? How you been?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Very well put. I'm like the man in the iron mask, just hiding in my own cave, just ignoring the noise. But I have faith in El Sagrado Americanismo, and I'm just waiting until the Liguilla starts.
Yeah. Are you going to be watching on the couch? Because the way America has been playing, I don't know if they're going to get in.
Oh, you're making it sound like Chivas wasn't up until today, wasn't just 1 point ahead of them. Let's calm down. Let's take it easy.
Yeah, let's take it easy. Hey, you guys are back-to-back champions. You guys are clearly taking it easy this season. I'm sure you have some excuses lined up, injuries or what have you. The stars aren't lining up, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with America.
Well, it's good to know that Jaime thinks that America is the only team in the world or in Mexico that's not allowed to have injured players. They gotta pull a what's his name, that guy that just quit on you guys,
Gago?
a Gogo or Gugu. You guys were
Gago?
Gugu. You guys were Gugu for Gago, and he quit on you just like I said he would. Let's jot that down on another epic hot take that under my belt. All right, I called it. That guy, as soon as the reports came out that he was linked to Chivas, the guy's a bum. He's a quitter. He's gonna quit on you guys. And lo and behold, I'm the fucking soothsayer of Mexican football. If you want to know something about the future, you come talk to me. All right.
That's a typical political response. You just change the subject. But I'm glad that you touched on Gago. It didn't take much for him to fucking drop us. Just a little wink from Boca. He's like, I'm out. In the middle of a season.
This goes back to an argument I had with the young man Joel on this very podcast a couple of times, and I asked him directly when it came to South American players when in general, us when the South American comes to Mexico and plays, they don't look as Mexico as some competitive as some place to go and earn glory or or build your resume up. They look at it as some place to get paid or bench hold somewhere to work while somewhere before you get a different opportunity, just like Gago did with Boca.
Oh no, I don't. Come on, Richie.
Look,
Richie, there's too many examples that say the contrary. Like Boca, for example.
On the contrary, there's plenty of examples to solidify what I just said, especially players.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Benedetto de America. Ricardo Peláez even mentioned it the day Gago left you guys. He was talking about how Benedetto, the guy literally took half a pay. He took half of what maybe even less than that to go play in Boca.
Yeah.
And America has to do what that guy wants because, as we all know, Mexico is run by foreign promoters. There's no such. If there is a Mexican promoter, they work with foreign promoters to get their players into Mexico and vice versa, and that's how it works. Another example.
Wait, just really quick.
Go ahead.
Because Benedetto, he was being taken to Boca, right? So one of the big two. He wasn't exactly going to like San Lorenzo or Tigre.
Oh, he took a pay cut though. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, no, but see, there's the thing, because he goes there uh, under the promise that he was going to get a shot with the national team. That's kind of how they lured him over there,
because they were saying, get a shot.
Well, there you go. But see, so that's a bit. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to mention that as well, Hall.
Okay, my bad. But your example was just.
There's a whole lot. I'm just going to spiel on you, man. This is a big L. You're just going to have to hold on to. You're gonna have to hold. This is one of the biggest L's you're gonna hold on to in this podcast.
Oh, damn.
Look, these look. I'm not gonna pick on Chivas, but whenever you guys or Chivas fans talk about, or you even, I'll mention America so you guys don't get mad, because you guys get mad easily when they talk about Chivas. When certain players are offered to come to Mexico or like Joel said, a big team in South America, specifically Boca, River Plate, or let's just throw a couple of a couple of big name Brazilian teams. If the offers are on the table, they're gonna take those offers, especially if they're young and in their prime.
Mm-hmm. But anybody would though, right?
Yeah, but
you're looking at the player that has a shot of going to Europe. Like they have a high ceiling, and so a lot of times when they do come to the club, there is that expectation. So it's like you're kind of taking a gamble that this player is going to leave. And they Cruz Azul did it. I don't know if you remember. They had Chelo Delgado and Figueroa, I think was his name. They had both played in Rosario Central, and then they both got called up to the Argentine national team, and they both ended in Europe. Luciano Figueroa, really good players, both of them, and that's kind of like with that type of youth, because Mex never really gotten uh, that those type of players from Argentina. They've gotten them from like Ecuador, perhaps Colombia, Chile, some of those teams. But when it came to Argentina, Brazil, you never got those players that were going to be called up to the national team or are being scouted by European teams. So if one of them did land in Mex, and you even said it yourself, the foreign promoter. So the foreign promoter put him there so he could earn a couple more coins before he leaves. That was just already like the club. I think was already expecting it. So I don't
I'll,
think
I'll
they
add
were.
I'll add another player. We don't have to go that far. Back in 2018, Cruz Azul again. Cruz Azul just gets a bunch of players that use them. They're like the neighborhood whore. Everyone uses Cruz Azul to get paid, and
Well,
they leave.
aren't they like
Ivan
a money laundering scheme though?
that too, and they forfeit games. Look what they remember what they did against Pumas in that COVID year. Those 4 goals mysteriously, no one was
Mm-hmm.
near them, and they went in. But that's a different conversation.
I could see Abdias shaking in his bed right now. He's restless. He doesn't know why. He's probably asleep and he's tossing and turning right now.
I was mentioning Ivan Marco. Well, I don't remember his first name, but his last name is Marcone, the guy that played with Cruz Azul in the 2018 final against America. Right after that, and the Chemos, they can deny it all they want. We can go back. There's tweets, there's proof. They were glazing this guy to no end. He's the best defensive midfielder in fucking Latin America and this and that in Mexico. And after what happens after the tournament's done? Boca gets a new coach, and that coach previously managed the team. I think it was Arsenal de Sarandi, where Marcone played, and he gives him a phone call, and he bounces just as fast as Benedetto, as Chelito Delgado, as Ivan Moreno when Toluca called. Well, I mean when Nacional called back in 2011, and he faked a heart injury. He said he was going to retire, and he had a heart murmur or some shit. And a year later, he's playing in Sudamerica in the Libertadores with Nacional. What I'm getting, long story short, what I'm trying to get at, Mexico doesn't have that. Mexican players aren't coming. Let's say they're succeeding somewhere else. They're not going to take a pay cut. In no way in hell are they going to take half of what they're earning to come play in Mexico, specifically in Chivas or teams below them, teams with money. That's not Mexico doesn't have that, and
Yeah.
that's where I think everything comes back to my point about Mexico no one really taking Mexico serious as a football country.
I think I want to add two more things to that. One is the national team. You know that it's a big deal for them to be and it's harder to be in that national team. With Mex is not as hard. It's not as difficult, I should say, not hard.
Ah.
It's difficult. Freudian slip. But that's one of the things. National team, and I think I was gonna say shit. I had it at the tip of my tongue. It, it's just that
Oh, he dropped his phone.
I dropped it. No, the microphone. The that whole thing. So being the national team, and even if you're like in Europe, that also could mean more for you as a player. Like you're more marketable now. You're more, you know, clubs are gonna want you. We talked about it. When was it? Maybe last year. How it's like you're playing at the World Cup, and it'll be like so and so striker for X club, and so you're promoting that club there at that, you know. at that point, and the league and those leagues, and that's why it's so important for a lot of these dudes that they wanna be in their national teams.
I'll add one more, and I think it's very important that people that goes back to my point. Those guys are fans of the clubs they're going to.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah.
They are diehard fans of that team. That's why they take the fucking pay cut. That's why they're trying to get to the national team because they know that by doing so, their name they they first of all they want to do it. They want to play there, and they know what comes with the they come what comes with succeeding with those teams.
Yeah.
When's the last time Chivas got a player that took a pay cut
Chicha.
willingly want so he took a pay cut.
Chicharito from
He
LA
took
Galaxy?
Uh,
Hell
his
yeah.
no, dude.
his
No way.
contract was
No.
up, dude.
No,
He
Jaime.
got what he got.
No, I'm
He
just
wasn't
saying,
gonna.
like, he was one of the highest paid players for Galaxy.
No,
Yeah, but no.
him taking a
They
pay
chose
cut.
not to renew his contract.
Exactly,
Yeah, he
that's not
was.
a pay cut. He took what
Nah.
was offered to him.
Well, I mean,
I think that's the only offer.
he's making
Exactly,
he's
that's
making
not a pay
less.
cut. No, but that's what
No,
he
no,
was.
but it's not
That's
the
what they
same
offered.
where he. I know
Oh,
what Richie is
I see
saying.
what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't by choice. It wasn't like
Um,
he had a. It's not like he had an option of like if I go over here. Like I don't think there was any other club interested. They kind of knew he was damaged goods, and I don't think he would have even have
you
passed
don't think
a
Piojo
physical.
Alvarado took a pay cut going from Cruz Azul to Chivas?
I mean, is Piojo Alvarado really a player? Are you gonna hold him to that standard?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean
I mean,
you
to
don't
me,
got
he
much
hasn't
to
really done
choose from
anything.
there. Yeah, it's not like if there was Tigres or Monterrey offers on the table. I think it was like go to Chivas or end up in Puebla or Querétaro, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'll be in one of the big teams."
So I just want to push back on something Ricardo is saying,
Oh,
and
you
and and
always do. You
and
always do. But let's
well,
hear it.
well, well, I half agree with you. Like you said a lot of facts. Like all
Hey,
those
but you
things
got to give me
happen.
some examples while you do it.
So I will. Like let's look at Guido. Let's look at Marchesin, two starlets at Club America who were performing at the highest level, right? And then America moved them on so that they could realize their dreams to play in Europe and find success abroad, right? So what you've been painting out to be some like fatal flaw of Liga MX is really something that can be considered an incentive when attracting top foreign talent. We'll get you to where you need to go. Let's find success here. Let's find success now. And then, tomorrow, who knows? Right? So it's really not like a slight on the league to lose out on top talent if we can keep attracting more and keep getting good players from South America because like for every one that leaves, we're getting two or three more as well. So I I don't necessarily agree. I mean, disagree with some of what you're saying, but I do disagree with some of the premise that you put forward.
So you don't think because it's widely accepted and known that Marchesin uh, pretty much left because he was forcing his way out to go to Porto.
He was. He wanted to
So
try to apply his trade abroad, and America didn't want to hold him back, and so they facilitated the move, and but Marchesín had already won everything there was to win in Mexico. It was time for him to move forward. Also, he wanted to be considered for the national team. He thought Sampoli leaving him out of that disastrous World Cup was one of the greatest slights of his life because even though he was playing for, I think it was Celta de Vigo, he still didn't get called up, and he was during the qualifiers for a little bit, which is tragic for him. But yeah, like this idea like that this makes like the league look bad. I don't agree with it at all. Like it should be doing more of that, especially with like Mexicans. Like let's get them to Europe. Let's get them to realize their dreams if their dreams are abroad. So like you are speaking facts, but I don't think that it means what you're saying it means.
I can give you less than a handful of examples that of what you just mentioned of like what you were just talking about teams moving selling players and like you just said, like helping them reach their dreams or whatever, and the team making money back. You just named two, specifically the foreigners, Guido Rodriguez and fucking and Marchesin. What other teams doing that?
Well, yeah, we have seen that slow down in the sense that like the
No, but
pay
can you?
is
No,
so good here.
I'm not even trying to pick on you, but can you give me another example, like in the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years,
Yeah.
let's see. Well, we have Diego Lainez, who was
No,
sold
I'm
to
talking about.
Betis,
No, I'm talking about specifically foreigners.
specifically
Yeah, well, I mean,
foreigners.
the market has changed in the last 10 years. You had
So you have the
all
Cruz
these
Azul Peruvian, Yoshi, who went to Celta de
Josh.
Vigo. Yeah, yeah, Yoshi something. He was this
Yoshimari
Peruvian.
Oshimari Otun or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
that
in
guy.
Peru, dude. He's not.
I know, but he did go from Cruz Azul to Celta de Vigo,
No,
and
I
then
think he went straight to Peru, man.
nah, he was at Celta de Vigo, and then you have another Peruvian, Tapia, who was a really good center defensive midfielder for Cruz Azul, also Peruvian, and he also went to Celta de Vigo.
Does
Isn't that
I just
that
looked it up,
America midfielder?
Mr.
Renato
Rifado.
Tapia.
I'm gonna have to correct you. You're mistaken. He went from Cruz Azul straight to Joel Sporting Crystal from in
Max
Peru.
Ford.
Mario Tun. I don't think so.
Yoshimari Otun, Orlando Pride or City or whatever the hell that gay team's name is. Cruz Azul, Sporting Crystal.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm wrong on that
Oh,
one.
of
So
course
I have him.
I'm always right, man. Come
So
on,
I
give me
had
some
him
credit.
confused
No, it was.
with Tapia. I had him confused with Tapia. So Renato Tapia, Cruz Azul to Celta de Vigo. I thought they both went.
Oh, there
It
you
was just
go.
one.
There was
So
the
my bad.
midfielder from America, the midfielder. Around the time that Piojo was there, that was in the 10 years. That hits the 10 year mark. I forget his name. You should know it, Richie. You're Americanista.
Is he
But
Peruvian?
no, Argentine. It's a midfielder.
Argentine. There was a Colombian, Uribe. He won the
No, he was.
Porto.
Well, see, there you go. But I mean, I think in the last 10 years, what we've seen is there's been way more competition now, more competition from MLS. They've been buying a lot of players. The Saudis have been buying a lot of players. So a couple leagues popped up, started, putting in more money. So that's one of the things we haven't really been seeing Liga MX bringing in the type of foreigners they used to bring, just because it's a lot more difficult.
Well, let me just say that Mr. Rifado was trying to contradict me or make me sound like I don't know what I'm saying, but he just bigged up America without wanting to. America
Oh.
getting these players, selling them for loads of money. America is where you guys want your team to be.
wow. I don't know how we
Well,
got into this
America,
conversation.
well, America operates on a different level. You know, they've had Televisa propping them up for many years, and you
Here
know
we so
they
cue the X Files music.
so so what I'm trying
No,
to say by that is that they have like what 30, 40 years of like buying foreign talent. Of course they're going to be better than at buying and selling than bar anyone, I think. Um, yeah, so that is like not like some conspiracy, it's just history, the history of Club America.
I wanted to respond to what Jaime just said. He asked, "Well, how did this conversation start?" It comes back to Gago, back to my original point. This guy was gonna quit. Like I know, as Chivas fans, you just watch the league, you watch Liga MX, and I overheard you guys were glazing that kid from Monterrey. I mean, that guy he could be washing cars by next year. I mean, give him 2 years. That's
That's what we said then. Do what we said. It's good to see them doing good, but let's see, let's get in some consistency so it's not another
I
trophy.
mean, did we already forget about that kid from Tijuana that everyone was on their knees for? That scored youngest goal scorer. Oh, he's the next Mbappe.
Who was saying that? Who was fuck? Nobody is
I'm
saying that.
I'm exaggerating, but they were glazing that kid. You can't deny that.
Well, the
They were.
season isn't over.
Hey, all I'm saying,
Richie, güey, van como 3 partidos. Sí, güey.
no, I mean that's the type of hype these kids are getting, and yet
Oh, yeah, they are. They are.
then the
Hey,
following year
that
they don't
was
make.
that was me
Go,
with Yael Padilla and Brigido when they came in fucking guns blazing.
oh, there you go. You see, you don't know what you have with these kids. But going back to Gago and to because I really liked what Mr. Father just mentioned, and it boosts my point as well. Like these guys, when it comes to Marchesin, these foreign guys that come to Mexico, be it coaches or players, all the winning La Liguilla or CONCACAF doesn't motivate them, man. Getting to a fucking semifinal that doesn't hype them up. Gago, he took the first chance he got, he left, man.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be
Yeah,
in Mexico.
but you know the answer to that, though. Richie, you already know it. That's Bragarnik, man. Come on.
He's foreign. He is promoter. He moves them around. I get it, but
No, but it's players. I was talking about it. If Bragarnik was not going to be able to put 5 of his players in Chivas, then he might as well put Gago in a club where he can put players. That's like he's not going to pay 2 million just so he gets a chance at Boca. He's paying 2 million for that shot that Gago does well, and then he can then funnel players through that. It's like a business. It's just puro business, way. It's la bizniada. It's
I
not.
get it.
This
I
is
get
like
it's the hustle and those damn hungry fuckers. They 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 squeeze all the juice out of Mexico because they love doing it and they let them do it. But I'm just saying, like when you see these foreigners, they just up and about they leave, and we're all and the a fan base is all surprised and shocked. I'm like, these guys don't want to even be in Mexico. They'll be in Cancun. They'll chill on the beach in Cancun. They'll drink a Corona. They'll do all that. But for them, Mexico isn't a soccer country.
well,
It just proves my point.
I think I agree with that to a certain extent because I don't think all players are like that. And so I do think there are many players that they'll come to Mexico out of necessity, and first chance they get, as you said, they'll leave. But there are many players that see Mex as a great opportunity, and many of them they end up staying in Mexico and they just live there. You know, the kids end up being Mexican, and you have a lot of players like that. Even some that aren't even that famous. They just ended up staying, and so I mean, it's I think it goes both ways, but I think there's more now, more that are willing to stay in the country and have their careers there.
Yeah, you look
I
at
think a lot of the players.
who's that Spanish guy? I think
Oh yeah,
he went through the ranks of Barca. Barca. He played at Leones Negros. Then he was at Cruz
I see his
Azul.
tweets.
Now he's got
There you go.
now he's got a whole career in TUDN.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because his
and
bitch is from Mexico, man. Come on.
His what?
His bitch is from Mexico.
Oh,
Anyway, but I mean that's kind of what they end up doing. They go to that country, they end up liking it and stay. Wait, Richie, if anyone can relate, it should be us. Our parents did that. Came to the U.S., came to work. They ended up staying here. We were born here. Same thing over there, and you have a lot of Argentines like that, like the Davinos, Julio Davino. His dad was Argentine. I think
Chaco
Martinoli.
Jimenez, Chaquito.
Yeah, no, but Chiquito wasn't born in Mex. He brought him. He brought him
that's right.
as a kid.
Hey, Joel, I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. My last name's Schweinsteiger. I don't know.
Do you know what Schweinsteiger means?
My people are from the other side of the ocean, dude.
But do you know what that? but you know what Schweinsteiger means?
No, what is that?
Schwein, pig farmer.
Oh, there you go. I'm the king of the
Yeah,
crops.
Richie King, Richie pig farmer.
Well, let me put you guys on the spot
It's
and be honest.
What's that?
Let's say in an alternate reality, in an alternate universe, Marcelo Gallardo doesn't exist, and Matias Almeida gets a phone call right after he wins the Conca crap that you guys get so much credit for, and River Plate comes calling. You really think he's not gonna dump you guys the same way that Gago did?
I don't know because
That's the
yeah,
club of his fuck. He's gonna do. He'll dump you in a millisecond,
he
dude.
was already there, dude. He was already there. Um, but again, dude, if it's that a possibility to take over their national team, then why not? And to play Libertadores. I mean, he still has to advance his career, and that's the other thing he would get. So he's closer to the national team, and he gets Libertadores. Where if he does Libertadores, he could jump to Europe.
the crazy part about Almeida is his career, at best, was a lateral move, if not a downgrade, after his tenure at Chivas.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I have a question for you, Ricky.
let's hear it.
There's steam peaking up again about Fidalgo and being naturalized and being called up for the national team. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want him from the national team?
Keep in mind, you're talking to the fucking, like I said before, I'm the fucking soothsayer of Mexican football. I see things you guys don't before they happen, and I have my own thoughts, and I'm objective. Person, sometimes I get in fights with America fans. Well, a lot of times they praise Fidalgo to the fucking moon, and personally, I can see why the old timers don't like him. He generates football. He has hustle and all the good stuff you want from a midfielder. And I'm sure I'm missing things. If you don't mention certain things, they'll they'll let you know it. But
Hmm.
to me, he's kind of in front of goal. He's offensively limited. If you see, to me, if he would have had that left foot that Richard Sanchez has, that also plays for America, he'd probably still be in Europe somewhere.
Mm.
But he's not a to me he's not a solution. But if they, I don't really, I I have Bavarian blood. I don't care about Mexico, man. Like they can call up who they want to. I'm worried about what the third Reich is doing right now. You know, no, but the players. I get you. I get Mexico fans. They get so in their emotions, and I mentioned this before. And I'm a stray away from the conversation. But back in 2002, when I was a kid, man, my second World Cup, like my eyes were opened. I seen the talent gap. I can't unsee that. Back in '98, when my first World Cup, I was still thinking, "Oh, we're Mexicans. Like I'm gonna watch Mexico. They got a fucking chance, right?" Then 2002 happens, and you're like I said, my eyes are opened, and what does Mexico aspire to? A fucking Gold Cup? Is that what there's no international tournaments. I'm not going to bring those up because people get mad when they mention them on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's the point? Like the players aren't being teams aren't making generating players, and I know someone's going to say in the background it's not their responsibility to generate players. I get all that, but it just so happens the teams that are winning, the teams that are do win important things, they do happen to generate players. But that's a different conversation. All I'm saying is Mexico. I'm. I don't feel. I don't. Nothing. I see a bleak future for them, and no player coming in right now, no matter where they play, is going to make a difference.
So I just want to follow up with what Ricardo's saying. First of all, on the Fidalgo bit, I 100% agree. I look at Fidalgo and I'm at a loss when I like what's his best position. Like I don't like him to sit deep in a double pivot because he's kind of lightweight. He's good on the ball, but off the ball, he leaves a lot wanting. If you put him up further on the pitch, he doesn't have a great shot at goal. If you put him out wide to be a right midfielder or a left midfielder, you're not utilizing him well, and he's not fast enough to be the best version of a right midfielder or a left midfielder. So like, and in the midfield, I feel like we're pretty solid. Like maybe like in the whole, instead of Orbelin, I would like Fidel, but I don't see him as a solution. I think he'd be a great bit part player for La Selección, but it's going to be a lot of backlash. We have what, Quiñones, Berterame. Who else?
Hey, sorry to interrupt you real quick, but who do you mean by Fidel? Fidel what? Because I know you're not
Ambriz.
talking.
Oh,
I know you're not talking
no,
about Fidel Ambriz.
no, I'm talking
My
about
head's
Fidalgo. I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay.
Fidalgo. I'm sorry.
My head
I'm
was
sorry.
about to explode if you would have mentioned that dude, man, because that guy's a scrub.
Well, he's a starter for Monterrey, who's looking really good.
Yeah, but
So it was him and Fimbris, these two youngsters. I think Fidel is 20 or 21, and then Fimbris is 19, and that was the double pivot for Monterrey, which I thought was really interesting. But no, what I'm talking about is Fidalgo. I'm sorry, I misspoke when I pronounced his name. But like, I don't see him as a solution for the national team, is what I'm saying, for all the reasons that I listed. But I do think he could be a bit part player, but I think there'd be too much backlash. We already have a lot of naturalizados.
Mm-hmm.
There's talk of Luca Romero. We
Oh
have
God.
Berterame. We have Quiñones. Two solid players. But like, when will enough be enough, right? And then we have Chaquito, who some people don't consider a Mexican enough. Like at a certain point, like I feel like the federation and the coach will be like, let's give some of the players that grew up in Mexico or that were born in Mexico more, an opportunity, as opposed to naturalizing half the team. Because let's say all these players get naturalized and then they all start, like half the team isn't, arguably Mexican enough. According
Hey,
to
but wasn't Luca Romero born in Durango?
He was born in Durango. He was.
So he's Mexican. He's Mexican. There you go.
and he also said he doesn't feel Mexican.
But he feels Mexican. Hey, when you're a kid, you say stupid shit,
Yeah.
and then you change your mind.
It don't matter if he doesn't feel it; he's still Mexican.
Yeah, well,
I used to say I didn't like gorditas, and gorditas are fine now.
Now we call Albert the Comal because he likes to calentar las gorditas. But Kate Cowell had to eat crow because they asked him in an interview, like, "Hey, do you feel more Mexican or more American?" He's like, "Oh, I don't feel anything for Mexico." Now he plays for Chivas.
Yeah. And he probably would never been in Mex. He probably never been there. I think once you go,
kids say
once you
those
go
things,
there,
man.
no, but I mean, once you go to Mex and you see that desmadre, I don't know if you guys saw this. I was like a few years back, 5-6 years maybe. So it was this guy that was he his life was bad, and he's like, fuck it, I'm a commit suicide. So he cashed out, dude. He cashes out. This is a true story though. He cashes out. He goes to TJ, man. It's just cocaine, hookers, blackjack, and I think he wrote a book. He learned to live, dude. He learned to live. So that's kind of the thing. Once you go to Max and you kind of see the country, I think a lot of people like Max. It's what isn't there to like aside from the violence and the corruption. And
Hey, good. Look at Gignac. Look at Pierre Gignac.
Yeah.
It was the Mexican adventure that drew him.
Yeah.
No, it was the big blank check that drew him in.
Nah,
Why you gotta be black?
No, blank.
Nah, I think he would earn that money in MLS. I think
that's
it was Martin de Palacio said that.
Oh, Mazatlán just scored 89th minute against Tigres.
Ooh, there you go.
1-0.
Fuck Tigres.
Fuck
Tigres, there you
Paunovic.
go.
And guess who's coaching Mazatlan? King Midas.
Oof, yes.
I didn't know Vucinic was still coaching. I wanted to add a comment to the Fidalgo thing. I get it. He's limited. I still think he's a better midfielder than Charlie Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, definitely. He could put a fucking ball through. Charlie can't fucking do anything to save his life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him. He could put fucking balls through. I mean, he's not gonna. I mean, don't think of him as a fucking savior. He's maybe a role guy that does a better job than what we have now than a guy like Charlie. There you go.
But that's how the media perceives it whenever you naturalize someone.
But
They
now,
have
but you know what? We're
they have
smart
the
now. We're smart fans.
no, no, they're not.
We're not in the '90s. We're fucking whatever they told us. We're able to watch fucking videos. Hey, this guy is a puede portar. Don't fucking sell him as a fucking Don't take it as he's fucking the next coming to fucking mess. No, it's a guy that could do a fucking job that Mexico needs. That's it.
I heard
But
I
if
heard
you
the
feed into the
same.
fucking media hype, then that's fucking different. But you know what? We as fans, we've advanced in the last fucking 25 years because
No, not a
we
lot of
have access
fans.
to we have access to information. There you go.
I was hearing the same bullshit right after Quiñones got called up, and even recently with Berterame. It's the same
But it's the
bullshit.
media. But the fans, you always saw it in the Twitter comments. Fans were fucking overly hyped. It was they fucking uno que otro desubicado en los medios, but it was like okay, well,
No, no,
he's he's
I'm
black.
not saying.
He
I'm not saying they were hyped. I'm saying that even the fans have the mindset of, oh, if you're being called up, you better do something more than the Mexican player. Well, the Mexican player isn't doing anything, so
but
the
wouldn't Fidal do more than fucking Charlie Rodriguez?
sure,
He will.
but
Oh, second goal.
Oh wow.
Second goal from Mazatlan, 91st minute, 2-0 against Tigres.
Oh,
Wow.
Aires aplicándose la Pauno.
Wow.
I was looking at they did
Fuera Pauno.
they did a shot of Tigres' bench, and their bench looks better than our starting lineup. God damn. They had Cordova, they had Antuna. I'm like, God damn, that's your bench, bro. Like Gignac. I'm like, fuck.
And they're still getting spanked by Mazatlan.
Mazatlan.
Good job.
I think
Yes.
their backline's too old. I think Aquino, Pizarro, I think those guys are kind of like on the wrong side.
Piojo called it and they sacked it.
Yeah, but they've
Not so
rejuvenated.
eloquent.
But I think
Yeah.
back, they got this young 25-year-old Brazilian, and then I forget who they have at left back. But I think those two guys, Pizarro and Aquino, are kind of donezo. But I just wanted to also push back on one thing that Ricardo was saying. That
oh man, you just don't agree with anything I say. Huh?
no, I agreed with you on Fidalgo. I agreed with you on what you were saying about like the foreigners, but I disagreed in some parts of that. But one thing you said that youth isn't being developed, but there are, and there's another game going on right now, right? Toluca versus Puebla, and I should have watched more of that. But it's 4-0 for Toluca right now, right? And one of the goal scorers is Alexis Vega, but that's not who I want to talk about. I want to talk about this kid named Violante, who I've been touting the
Average. I've
past
seen
few
him play.
weeks.
Average.
Well,
Average player.
he's got 4 goals and 1 assist thus far in the season. I think he's gonna get around 8, goals and assists, and he's how old is he? I think he's 19 years old, 20 years old. So like he's someone that I think we should be calling up for the right winger. He's someone that's having a great season, and I want to see more of. And this last jornada, not the games today, but like over the weekend, we had 66, under 23 players play, and so that's a decent number. It's a little lower than the previous jornada, which was at 70. So we were at 19%, and now this last one we're at 16%. I'm rounding up and down, but like there is a good patch. There's a good batch of youngsters that are coming along, and I'm just waiting on one to like really pan out. Maybe it'll be Fimbres, but like one of these guys is gonna pan out for the selección because like of these 66, there's only like 4 or 5 of them that are being called up. So yeah, like players are gonna come up, and we don't have to naturalize them because with this new rule, um, we're gonna have some winners.
Let's give it a year or two, and if they're still playing in the league, we can have this conversation. Like I said, they're probably gonna be washing. They're gonna be washing dogs on the side of the road somewhere, or they would be playing in a freaking pub league in Mexico, like that La Momia. What was that guy that won the
Yeah.
youth?
Oh yeah, La Momia, yeah. He ended up in Chivas, yeah.
Let's just chill, cause this always happens.
What about Mora from TJ? Do you guys think he's the real deal?
No,
He's 15 years old. I think he's got he didn't
No.
play this last game. He didn't play this last game
No.
the weekend. But he's got 1 goal, 1 assist at 15 years old. I think he's got 7 appearances. He's on his way. It's too early to ask so much of him, right? Maybe next year at 16. When he's developed a little more physically. I think that seems to be his issue because he disappears, and he can be muscled off the ball fairly easily.
Bro, they just panned to the bench again. It's Angulo, it's Lainez, Cordova, Antuna, and they're losing 2-0. Things you love to see. I have a.
Those guys don't care about. They go to Monterrey to get paid, man. Whenever things there's no pressure like at America in Monterrey. Those guys just go there to get paid.
You said no pressure at America?
I said those guys that go to Monterrey, they go there because there's no pressure like at America.
Oh, it reminds me of this show called Silicon Valley, and in one of the episodes, all the all the people went to Google and just got their fucking fat salaries and their stock options, and you just see them all hanging out, playing hacky sack or beer pong. They're not even working. It's just fuck it, I'm here, I made my money, and I'm here until they kick me out.
I'll use a boxing reference. I think Albert will understand this one. When Marvin Hagler said, "It's hard to do road work while you're wearing silk pajamas." A boxer isn't gonna go run miles in the morning while he's at home wearing a fucking Gucci pajamas, dude. That's not gonna happen.
I think it was
Same
in
with
silk
soccer.
sheets, sleeping in silk
sheets?
sheets.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but yeah, you're right, yeah.
I got a question for y'all. This is one of the topics I want to discuss. Aleko Iaragorri, 24 years old, announced as the president of Santos Laguna. What do you guys think of nepotism?
They call him the real life Chava Iglesias.
Is that the guy from
Club de Cuervos, where his dad put him as president? Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Yeah. You know what? The morale is real low with that fucking team. Look, attendance was already bad. Did you see the attendance today was ridiculous?
Yeah.
Putting a kid and under the with some nepotism involved, it really didn't enthuse the fan base, man.
But isn't Chivas guilty of nepotism? Isn't Leon?
No, but that died. That died. That's totally different. And then Amaury wasn't a fucking snot-nosed kid.
And Leon, Jesus Martinez' son.
The guy that looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
And then in Tijuana too. The Ron. Yeah. No, but those guys are, you can see their manner. This guy's a little snot-nosed preppy kid,
big ass ears.
Yeah, he's he doesn't. It's like you put a baby there.
And then his press conference, man, it was cringe as fuck. He
sounded like a fucking politician.
Yeah.
Like a fucking stupid politician talking. I'm from the desert. Like, what the fuck? He should have just take it. Just fucking, hey, said a couple words. I'm here to work, blah blah blah. But he sounded fake, and he showed his immaturity. And like I said, the fan base just doesn't buy it. It was fucking horrible today.
I caught the game versus America, and it was so even up until the 70th minute. I really thought it was going to end as a draw. Acevedo was just on form. I really liked him. And then they got that red card, and they collapsed. And America having quality, they smelled the blood and they scored 3 on them over the weekend. But like, I don't think they're as bad as they seem. It's unfortunate. When you're missing just 1 or 2 pieces, like it can like leave you exposed, and that could be taken advantage of by the opposition and make you seem worse off. But I don't think they're that awful of a team. I think they deserve more, and it's a tragedy that it's not happening for them.
If only JJ Mack was made out of iron.
They're in last place, though.
Yeah, they're in last place. They've only won 2 games. And I think that this is a slap to the face of the fans, right? It's like, this is where you need answers. This is where you need ideas. And assigning the hijo de papi as the president is, I mean, goes to show how much of a shit he gives. Absolutely none.
Exactly. Like, I find it ironic how people that, I mean, I've heard Joel and others mention why promotion and relegation doesn't function in Mexico like in other countries, but he's over there in Europe trying to get Sporting Gijon to the first division, but he's switching his tune when he's in Mexico. He's saying that all the teams that there shouldn't be descenso. There should be like an MLS, like a franchise model. And while he's pretty much saying, "Do as I say, not as I do."
But one of the main gripes that Santos fans have is that the team has fucking sold players for a lot of money, and they're not reinvesting it. And they're seeing Igor doing his shit over there in Spain, and they think that he just fucking totally has fucking discarded the team. That's their main fucking gripe. I mean, they've made with Gorreran, they sold him for a pretty penny, and everybody else, and they just don't see it fucking reflected in the team, and that's their fucking main gripe.
Yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting move. He's the youngest, executive assigned?
Yeah, 24.
24
He
years
looks younger
old.
than 24.
He looks
younger
like a
than
baby.
24. He looks like a baby.
I just want to push back on the Santos not investing, because I think they did invest. They just did so. It just didn't pan out. Like, they got Jordan Carrillo, who was looking great for the U23s. He kind of failed in Spain, but like he was going to have his bounce
No,
back.
not
with
kind
Santos.
of. He did fail in Spain. He
Yeah,
failed.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they sold him to LAFC.
No. You're talking about Campos. You're talking about, I think.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Totally.
I'm talking about Jordan
Another ball.
And then you have Santi Munoz, who was loaned out to Newcastle. They opted not to buy.
Wait, Rifado. Ricardo, I just want to let you know, Mexico bombs are World Cup champions.
What was that?
Mexico's bombs are World Cup champions. They're like reigning. They're the champions of the homeless World Cup.
Oh yeah.
They got a few. They don't just got one, dude. They got like 6. Like
yeah,
six
I made a TikTok video. I made a TikTok video. It's the men's and the women's are like the top the maximum winners in the homeless World Cup.
The fact those people uploaded that and they were proud of it just goes to show you how warped the Mexican mindset is. It's crazy.
Wait,
hey, one time
can someone?
One time they won a title with a guy with a burnt face. Man, come on.
You got to explain the rules of a homeless World Cup. So you have to be homeless to qualify.
Yes, Albert, tell us.
Okay. You have to be homeless, but you have to be homeless or in a rehab or something like that, and you could only participate in one tournament. So it's not, you can't make a career out of it.
Even there, the opportunities they shut you down. They don't, no handouts.
Right, my dream's dashed again.
Yeah, you have to be living on the streets in a rehab or other sort of assistance program.
I guess the idea behind that is that it makes sense though, because like you want to not return, right? Because that means you're still fucked
Yeah,
up.
you said-
that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. They don't want you to make a career out of it.
They don't want you to make a career out of rehab.
They don't want you to
Okay,
be a
Gule,
super copas.
and
That's fucking
that
hilarious.
would be Mexican. We do a Gulit and
Oh my god.
Omar
Gullit should
Bravo,
go. Hey, you know,
Fabian.
Hey, Gullit is playing in a Sunday League team in
Yeah,
LA.
he is. He is.
in LA, right? Wait, in LA? I thought it was like in TJ.
Yeah.
Bro, you should.
No, in
He's in
LA.
LA.
You guys are in LA. What the
Oh,
fuck, man? Go
fuck.
hang out with them. Ask
That's-
them.
Yes,
I'm in LA.
I'll
You want me? I'll
try.
try it. You want me to go? I'll go. I'll
Yeah.
go see if I can find them.
I'm sure he'll do it for free or for a beer or something. He'll fucking.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, vamos a acabar.
He might try to kiss you though. He might try to kiss you.
Get
Some
there
wings,
with
some
the-
fucking weird.
they
for
could
some
have
wings
in
and
a brown
Honduras.
paper bag.
Real quick, gonna go over today's scores. Santos and Pachuca tied 1-1. Chivas 3-2 over Necaxa. Toluca scored another goal, and Paulinho scored a brace 5-0 against Puebla. Chepo is in trouble, and then Vucetic gets the 2-0 victory over Paunovic against Tigres. So those are your Tuesday scores. Tomorrow we're gonna have.
Chepo did manage to improve from previous season. I think previous season they just made 5 points.
Oh,
They got like 11, I believe.
progress.
So that's slight improvement. Chepo apologies.
Tomorrow we got Juarez, Cruz Azul, Rayados, Pumas, León Atlas, and TJ versus America. That should be a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I
It's
wanted
gonna
to
be right there
mention
in la frontera.
I wanted to mention something you guys were talking about earlier about Almada. I think it was Joel that said, or I don't know who said it, Joel, that he should come to Chivas.
I didn't say that.
I said
Or
that.
one,
Richie
you guys
was
can't afford
Caplico.
that guy. He's. I listened to this podcast with it where it's from these Mexican guys, and one of them is like a Pachuca like insider,
Uh-huh.
like legit insider. Like I think he called Quiñones to America before anyone did. Who else did he call? He called Gago leaving before he did too.
Uh-huh.
Before anyone was mentioning it. He was saying that his buyout clause is like 10 million.
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
but Chivas was not buying them out.
10 million.
Almada
10 million pesos?
dollars.
Pesos, yeah.
Dollar.
that's a
Bro,
mamon.
who's got that? No one's
It's a
got that
mamon,
fucking
güey.
clause, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot. Man.
Well,
So,
what do you
like-
mean? I mean, Jardine's buyout clause is like that.
Jardine?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for how many years? I mean, how long is his contract? So,
Almada,
like, if he has 4 years,
he was saying
they're
he has
not
4
com-
years. The 2020 for he signed.
okay. If he has a 4-year extension, then yeah, they're making you pay.
He's
about
stuck at
2.5
Pachuca
every
until
year.
2026.
No, but yeah, Chivas wasn't gonna get him on a buyout.
He's an
I
insider.
know, but Chivas wouldn't get him on a buyout. So they can't
He
afford
wouldn't go
himself.
to Chivas with a
It's the
game.
clickbait. But that's the clickbait. Like they can't afford him. Like they could afford his wages, but no one's paying 10 million. Like outside
So they
of the
can't afford
Americas, no one's paying a buyout for that. Dude, it's you just probably see like some Euro teams do shit like that, but the regular teams they don't. I would say regular. The majority of the teams, I should say that they don't do that. They're not dropping 10 million to bring a coach who might not work.
But isn't
months
Almada's
from
contract over in December?
He signed. The guy said that he's at Pachuca till 2026 or 2020. Yeah, 2026. He said,
Really?
and he said that he does have a
So
clause
2 years.
but for national teams.
Se mamó. No, I don't.
And another thing he mentioned, that guy frustrates that locker room real quick.
He what?
He's saying he's a hothead. He's a La Volpe 2.0, like I said before.
He loses the
and
locker room. Yeah.
Those Mexican players or players that play for coaches like that in general, they get tired of that same bullshit being thrown at you every day. Like you can see, he mentioned the Idrisi, and I've seen it too. last season when he played right before he played America, he got a red card, I think, and he was fighting with Almada. Like those guys do not like each other. He's already on the way out of Pachuca after this season. Like that guy, and he was
Sounds
mentioning
like a perfect candidate for Chivas. What's Chivas without some coach drama?
I mean, if he gets fired, that's a different story. I'm just saying Chivas isn't going to pay that buyout clause.
No, nope.
Nah, I don't think there's a $10 million buyout clause. That sounds like bullshit
I
to
mean,
me.
but why is that even used? Like, you know, that just I don't know why. That just almost like a dig at Chivas than anything.
We're gonna pay it with Boca's IOU.
But you know, Almada also has an eye on that fucking Ecuador fucking job. So I don't know what the situation is with Ecuador, but he has a fucking that he's always looking at that fucking job. So I don't. It's like he's always said it. He wants to coach Ecuador. So I don't know what the situation is. But
Why
I mean,
isn't he from Uruguay?
He was successful
Ecuador.
in Emelec or something. That he was like a fucking very successful.
I think in Barcelona.
Barcelona de Guayaquil? Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, so he has a soft spot for the equator?
Yeah, for Ecuador, yeah. Like, you know, like La Volpe would be in Mexico, like that, like something like that.
Wow. That's cool. We'll see what happens.
Well, they did just really quick. They sacked their coach right after the Copa America, so they just hired another one.
All right.
So I don't think that job's gonna be available unless that guy.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure of the situation. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, they.
For sure, folks. Yeah, that's all I had on the docket tonight. You guys have any other hot topics?
Fernando Valenzuela died. You know, it's the greatest Mexican.
Oh yeah.
The greatest Mexican sportsman. You know, I wouldn't say he was an athlete because he didn't look like an athlete, but the greatest Mexican sports star to play in the United States. I mean, and then after that, it's or to perform the stars. After that, it would be Chavez, Lorena Ochoa, and Canelo. And as for Los Angeles, I mean, he's in the Mount Rushmore up there with Kobe, Magic, and Serena Williams. I don't know, Koufax, but he's up there.
Serena Williams from LA?
Yeah, Compton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Tiger's from LA too, from the Valley. I think from.
Goddamn. No, I said I didn't know that one. Hey, but the Dodgers saying they haven't retired 34, huh?
Oh, the Dodgers retired his number already.
Yeah. Like
but
just recently, right?
Fame.
Was it recent?
Yeah, it was a couple, maybe within the last 3 summers.
Man, that took so long, don't you think?
For the Dodgers, yeah, but the main thing is the Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame for some antiquated bullshit about the win-loss record. That his win-loss record his loss column is too big for Hall of Fame credentials. But the thing is that fucking Tommy Lasorda fucking used them practically every other day and fucking wore them out. And what they need to do is look at the fucking analytics. I mean, analytics are big. That's what they did with King Felix in Seattle in 2010 when they gave him the Cy Young. The team was fucking horseshit.
Yep.
But they looked at the analytics and they looked at his, you know, those fucking the statistics nerds look at, and they said, "Oh fuck, he's elite." That's what they should do with Fernando. I don't know why they haven't done it. They haven't done it yet, but if they look at specific statistics, he gets in. But you know, they're fucking stuck with his win-loss record, blah blah blah. But the guy's a Hall of Famer in my eyes, and I talked to several electors, and they said he should be in. So I don't know. It's maybe now that he's dead, they'll put him in. I don't know.
Bad timing, you know. Dodgers get into the World Series, and you're about to kick off this New York versus LA, West Coast versus East Coast, and this happens.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He won the World Series, right? Against
two of them.
Against the Yankees.
One was a start. One was star. He's been on his deathbed for like 3 weeks, but
Oh
they
shit.
told me they told me 2 3 weeks ago that they had told his friends to say their goodbyes because it
What
was
was he?
that time had already.
What did he have? He had like cancer or something.
What I've heard, he had problemas hepáticos, which is translates to liver problems, and
Oh.
he was also had diabetes issues. So
Oh.
so he was a, and then if you saw his face, he had gotten a total dental replacement.
I was
So
Damn.
about to mention
his
that.
face
He has
his
some
face
big
looked
fake
flaccid.
choppers.
Yeah, so in the last year, his appearance took a turn for the worse, and then what was it? 6 weeks ago, he stepped aside from the Dodger Spanish broadcast, and then like I told you 3 weeks ago, I was told they told his friends to say their goodbyes because the end was near.
Yeah, I mean, look, he wasn't, someone that I grew up watching, but I know with Mexico and Mexicans in the states, and like what he did for representing us in baseball at the highest level. So
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
a lot of Beaners were Dodgers fans because of him. So
oh yeah. Ellie was like I told. I was 6 when he won the last World Series, but you could see it in Fernando Mania. And then I remember vividly the day they bounced, they let him loose, they fired him from the Dodgers. It was a sad day. It was a very sad day. As far as Mexican sports people, athletes, what we would call them, I think it has to be him and Hugo, just because they did shit in a fucking in like a top flight fucking league, I think Chavez comes after him, but you could have those three in the top three, and
yeah,
and then that's pretty accurate. And then after that, you could put Canelo, you could put Ochoa, Guevara,
No,
whoever you
no,
want. But
Sanchez over Chavez and Canelo.
what Sanchez? Oh, Hugo Sanchez, no,
No,
Sanchez is a top two.
Salvador,
Sanchez and Hugo.
Salvador Sanchez
Salvador.
over Chavez and Canelo.
No, that's a totally different story. We should do a Balkan podcast. That's a totally different story. But it's top
Easy,
Mexicans,
easy.
Mexican athletes. It's valid. It's fucking immovable top three. Fucking Hugo, Valenzuela, and those are interchangeable. And Chavez. That's it. Top three.
Yeah. Now imagine being part of the Dodgers organization. You can't lose this World Series.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like they're obligated to win. I mean, it's a pretty even match. I mean, both of them got cannons. The pitching is kind of questionable, so we should see a lot of fucking fireworks. And the Dodgers are favored. They're mostly favored because they got the home field advantage. But I mean, with this fucking with this news, I mean, it should be some, and it's pretty symbolic. The last time the Dodgers and the Yankees met was fucking Fernando's rookie season, which he won the Cy Young and he won Rookie of the Year and he won the World Series. So it's kind of symbolic.
Wow, that was his the year he played the debuted is the year he won the World Series.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
because the Yankees.
Wow.
So it's kind of you have all this coincidence and shit like that. So I I I. I grew up hating the Dodgers because my dad was a Padres fan and he hated the Dodgers. But then, I became my own man and I started coming to Dodgers and I wish him well.
Hey, but then the Dodgers they tore down all that Mexican neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. No, you know what, and it's good you bring that up because that the uh, Fernando helped that healing process because
Mm-hmm.
not really with Mexicans because Mexicans didn't give a fuck about pochos, but with the Mexican American community in Los Angeles. Although there's still to this fucking day, there's fucking still people that fucking denounce the Dodgers for that shit. There's a lot of groups, and there's still fucking protesters. But with a lot of Mexicans, it was he's one of us. He's fucking brown. He's he has a fucking Valenzuela. So it was like he helped the healing process with a lot of Mexican
They
Americans.
did
Not I
They,
love him.
they did a 30 for 30 on ESPN called Fernando Nation.
Yeah, Fernando Mania.
That
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
oh,
good.
Fernando Ness. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. He helped the healing process. That's why they say that more Mexican Americans started going to the games, and it's like representation matters. Right? Fuck it. There's a fucking a gordito mexicano morenito there. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah. For sure, folks. I don't have any closing thoughts, but if you guys want to go, we'll wrap up this episode.
Hopefully, if Chivas keeps on winning, they don't plan on keeping Arturo Ortega around. I mean, they need. Hopefully, they don't do another Ricardo Cadena. Hopefully, they go and they find uh, a decent coach to start a new project. I don't want this triunfalismo because he won a couple games. Let's keep him. No. Bring a fucking good coach and start a good project.
Anybody on your wish list?
I had Siboldi on my wish list, but Matias, fuck it. I know. Last week you guys said that why like he right now he wouldn't have the star power he had in 2017 and blah blah. But fuck it, the guy means some. He means something to the team and to the fans. I wouldn't mind having him back.
Begging for an Argentine? That's crazy, man.
Él es mi pastor.
For sure, Albert. Thanks for hopping on. Joel, you still there?
No worries, no worries.
Yes, sir. I'm right here. Um, I don't know, Chivas. I hope they just keep doing what they've been doing. They've been on the right path. Uh, so I think the 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 committee that they had working, keeping tabs on players and coaches and whatnot. I think they're doing a really good job. So I'm hopeful they're gonna do what's right. Um, so I feel that they are gonna bring in a coach, regardless of how this guy does. I hope they don't make that same mistake. Even though I did say earlier I like when clubs promote from within, but if you do that, then you have to give those coaches a chance, not throw them under the bus at the first sign of uh, you know at the first sign of trouble. Um, that's just it, man. Hope Chivas can maintain their pace, and I would like to see Gago lose a few more times. Just, it's sort of it's like the
Him leaving
pastry. It's
hurts
like
you,
the
huh?
postre. No, it's like I don't really
That
care,
hurt.
dude. Honestly, I don't. I didn't care for like it was messed up the way he did it, but I wasn't like I didn't have high hopes on him or anything. I wasn't like impressed when they would show his little kids and like
People fell for that.
celebrating and doing all that. I know that was part of it. I was like, yeah, let's see where he's at the end of
Dude,
the
did you
season.
see how the condition he left
The
his
hermit,
house? Oh my god.
he's getting sued,
He fucking took the
as
AC
he
with
should
him.
be, and he took that. Dude, how did you? I don't know if he did. He maybe just sold him.
You know what? I have a feeling that he literally got the call from Boca and just dipped, didn't bother locking anything, and then they just went in
Yeah,
and they tore
yeah,
down.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't think he
That makes
actually
more
did that
sense.
shit, but I think that
Some
yeah,
fucking kids partied there, huh?
they're like, he's
But the
out, se fue, okay, fucking take
yeah,
everything.
there's people, and but the dog thing seems to be like they said that his dogs chewed up the sofas.
Yeah, fuck his dogs.
Damn.
Hacer unos
Man, that guy
tacos de
didn't.
perro.
I know you. I know some of you. Joel says it doesn't bother him, but you look online, it bothered a lot of people,
It did.
and
It did.
that
Yeah,
just
I
surprises
saw it.
me because every time you see him on the sideline when he's doing interviews, the guy just didn't look like he wanted to be there.
That's true.
Yet he still kept coaching even after
But I
Hierro
I
left.
think that's his
That's
temperament,
crazy to
bro. Like he has not smiled at Boca either.
Oh no, he was smiling when they presented him.
Mm,
Big old grin.
yeah. Well, Ricardo, you're up next. Closing thoughts. Want to talk about your America and how shitty they're doing?
Jaime, like I said earlier, before a couple hours ago, Chivas was just 1 point ahead of him, dude. Come on. Give me a break, man.
I'm glad you're back, though.
Thank you. But like Albert putting Julio Cesar Chavez in front of Salvador Sanchez, I mean, that's just. I respect a lot of Albert's boxing takes, but I can't agree with that one. There, no one's ever. Chavez, neither Chavez or Canelo have a Zuma
Look,
Nelson on their record.
the only reason
Or
the
Little
only
Red,
reason he's not on,
or
the only
Wilfredo,
reason he's not on top. The only reason he's not
Wilfredo
on top.
Gomez.
He's too young. He has 4 wins against 3 Hall of Famers: Danny Lopez, Wilfredo Gomez, and a rookie, Asuma Nelson. I mean,
Rookie.
he was
Oh,
a rookie.
there it goes. Discrediting.
He was young, not a rookie,
Just
but he was young.
discrediting.
But the thing is, it was too short. I mean, you can't. It's not his fault that he fucking died in an accident.
On the contrary, that just shows how great he was.
Yeah, but
And
then
no
you look
one-
at what Chavez and Canelo has done. Come on, dude.
What have they done?
They fucking
when Sanchez beat Gomez, Gomez
I don't-
was
I don't-
ranked pound for
I
pound
don't
number
know
one.
I don't know the undefeated record of Chavez, but Chavez has the fucking world record of 27 defenses.
Who has he
Canelo
beat
has fucking. Canelo has been. Canelo was a fucking pound for pound. Come on, dude.
Let me,
No,
Albert. Let me just say this.
Fucking anglosajones, negros, expertos pusieron a Canelo pound for pound. Mexicans hated him, but fucking Canelo was the fucking ruler of boxing from fucking 2019, 2021.
Let me just say this. Salvador Sanchez is the only guy of those three that has a win over a pound for pound number one. That's Wilfredo Gomez. When that
But it's just what you can't. But you can't put his body of work. You can't compare it to Canelo.
He fought.
Well, Canelo has it against Canelo got the win against Triple G. Triple G was fucking pound for pound.
Was he pound for pound number one?
Yeah, he was pound for pound when he beat him in the rematch.
No. He fought one guy that was pound for pound number one, and he got slapped around.
Triple G was pound for pound, dude.
He fought Mayweather, and he got slapped around. Chavez,
Triple G, and the rematch,
Whitaker, and he got slapped around too.
In the rematch, he was still fucking pound for pound. That's how Canelo became fucking pound for pound, because he beat fucking Triple G, and then from there he's fucking.
Who on Canelo's record is as good as an Azuma Nelson?
But the thing is, fucking Asuna was, and you know what, Asuna.
Wilfredo Gomez. Forget.
I think Asuma, he has a fucking Triple G. Dude. Triple G was fucking monster. The monster Triple G. The monster Triple G.
Okay.
Triple G is a fucking. Triple G is gonna be a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer, dude.
Who is Canelo?
Cotto's in the Hall of Fame. Cotto's in the Hall of Fame.
Who is Canelo's Wilfredo Gomez?
Cotto's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. It's Triple. It's Triple G. It has to be Triple G.
Smaller guys.
It has to be Triple G, dude. Triple G has to win. And then you know what? And then when he unified the titles, he didn't beat Slouches. He beat the best guys in the fucking division. Fucking Plant, the Sanders. He was on a roll. He beat the fucking top guys in the fucking division. It's not like he fucking. You know what? Fucking Benavidez fucking coked himself out, and he took himself out of the fucking Canelo running.
Benavidez then? Why doesn't he fight him?
Benavidez had a chance, but he wanted to. He wanted to be. He didn't want to have discipline. He wanted to do cocaine. Fucking. He pissed away his chance. Because if he would have had the fucking title, Canelo goes for him. Canelo, you know what? Canelo is a point where he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's already, his legacy is fucking set. If you fucking fighting Benavidez at this point, it doesn't hurt him, but you know, it does. Maybe it does give him a little.
It does not.
But his career is set. His career is fucking set.
He knows that. Albert.
Maybe so.
Does Caleb Plant beat James Toney or Roy Jones Jr. or Bernard Hopkins in the 90s?
Hey, but you know what?
Does Canelo do that?
But Caleb Plant fucking lasted 12 rounds with fucking Benavidez. Fucking Canelo took him out. So who knows?
I mean, Caleb Plant's a bum, Albert. He's
Yeah.
nothing.
A bum that Benavides fucking went 12 rounds with, dude. Canelo took him out.
So if Benavides
If he was so much of a bum, shouldn't have Benavides fucking taken him out? Fucking like
the
Canelo
referee
did?
helped him, dude. Come on, we know that.
Come on.
Shouldn't that fight have been stopped in the round 9?
He went the fucking 12, Dick. He went the 12, Dick. That's all I know. He went the 12. Canelo took him out early.
Look,
Canelo took him out.
Just
Canelo didn't need the fucking ref. Canelo
answer
fucking
me
stopped
this.
him.
Who did Chavez beat pound for pound number 1, and who did Canelo beat pound for pound number 1?
Bro, it doesn't. But look at fucking Chavez's fucking victories, dude.
That's a
He
funny
fought
way
fucking
of saying
Mildred
no one.
Taylor, dude. Fucking make Mildred Taylor, bro, a fucking gold medalist. Fucking a top pound for pound fucking fighter.
Zhu Shiming is a 2-time gold medalist, and I can beat him up. That guy's a
But
fucking bum.
come on, bro, you're selling him short. You know what? And I'm gonna be clear. I'm gonna be clear again. I'm not fucking knocking fucking Sal. It was his career, unfortunately, because he fucking died in a fucking accident. Was cut short, and then this is the body of work. You can't put forget about Canelo, but you can't put him over Chavez, dude. You just can't put him over Chavez.
Let me just use this example. Hey, Joel, are you still there? Or let's just use time here.
I'm here.
Entertain me for a second. This is gonna be far-fetched, but entertain me. If Chivas wins the Libertadores in 2010 and America wins the Sudamericana in 2007, which one is more important and more has more historical value?
Copa
Which
Libertadores.
Oh, and Salvador Sanchez has the Libertadores and
so you're pretty agreed for one fucking win. One fucking win, and it's boxing. It's not fucking. It's not titles.
What do you mean we'll fucking win?
Triple G was fucking pound for pound number 1, dude.
No,
Triple G was pound for pound.
What's Triple G's best win, Albert? Let's be honest. Who's his best win?
You know what? That's not the discussion.
Albert, you called it up, man. You can't think of nothing.
No, but wasn't he pound for pound? Wasn't he fucking pound for pound? Where he was pound for pound the best.
Hey, Albert, does he beat Andre Ward?
Cool.
Maybe he does.
Triple G?
Maybe he does. At 160.
Andre Ward.
Kovalev got fucking cheated on the first fight. Who knows?
I thought Kovalev won too, but still, Triple G didn't take his best wins. Freaking Marco El Veneno Rubio. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
No. El Veneno was fucking shitless.
Gio from Australia, is that his best win? Danny Jacobs, he looked like shit against Danny Jacobs.
But you were saying pound for pound best. But
no, I didn't say pound for pound. I said pound for pound number 1. The best fighter
the best.
in the world.
Pound for pound best. The best one.
Canelo beat him. He was number 1. Triple G was number 1.
Triple G was pound for pound number 1.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
When was he number 1?
Yes, he was.
When was Triple G number 1?
I'll look it up right now.
Look it up.
Right here. He was ranked world's best boxer pound for pound from September 2017 to September 2018 by The Ring.
Boom! There you go.
Ring is biased. They're owned by a promoter, dude.
No. He wasn't. If anything, fucking, he was an independent promoter. Fucking De La Hoya owns the fucking Ring. So that's a bullshit excuse.
De La Hoya is gonna put Canelo against Triple G, and it just so happens his publishing and ring title and rankings has Triple G number 1. What a coincidence!
Oh, because he was the fucking best at the time. Who else was fucking best? Crawford?
Triple G is not a Zuma Nelson
Crawford beating Ndongo was the best for you?
Triple G.
I never heard this fucking slant. I mean, I'm taking it back. I never heard this argument. I need to move it over.
We gotta move things along, but
yes.
You guys,
good shit.
I recommend, since you guys are some boxing heads, I recommend watching La Máquina on Hulu. It's Gael Garcia and Diego Luna.
Hey, but isn't it just a boxing version of Rudo and Cursi?
I don't know, dude. I'm 2 episodes in, and it's pretty interesting, and it, kind of foreshadows like what's gonna happen in the show. But it could be true in the world of boxing. A lot of setup fights and
Oh yeah,
match
yeah,
fixing and
yeah.
whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Rifalo, you still in here?
I am. I am. Good shit. I'm kind of divided on the Salvador versus Canelo beef. I agree with both of them. But my closing thoughts. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the U23s that shined this last jornada. Again, I'm not including the match tonight, but what's it called? Like I said earlier, this last week, we were at 16% U23s with 66 total, which is down from the 70 of the previous jornada before the break, which was at 19%. So it's a little disappointing that it's not going up, that it went down. But I think the double jornada in the same week could have something to do with that. Squads are there's a lot of rotation. And I think that played into it. But I just wanted to give my praises to a lot of the youngsters, especially some of these Chivas players like Chavez, the 20-year-old left back, who's just starting and doing wonders for Chivas, especially with three at the back. Orozco, Chiquete, as well as Castillo have been looking really good as of late. Chiquete is still only 22 years old, seleccionado. Castillo has yet to be called up, right? But he's 22 years old. He can play left back. He can play right back. He can play center back. He's looking really good. And then I know I wasn't going to count this jornada, but Yael Padilla's looking really good, and he wasn't getting looked at with Gago. And now these past two games, he's looking like a new man. And so kudos to him. I think this might be like the perfect time for him to start heating up. We definitely need the attack to be firing on all gears. Now to move on to Club America, they got this kid named Miguel Velasquez. No, Miguel Vasquez, 20-year-old center back, 6'1". He was looking good. It's not every day you see a young kid, 20-year-old, start for Club America. So I saw him start, and I was like, all right, this guy looks good. Club America had the clean sheet against Santos, so he was a big part of that. Just wanted to give him a shout out. And then we have this left back who didn't start named Franco Rosano. He's 19 years old, promising looking dude. I'm not sold on him yet. We'll see what he can bring to the table. Um, and then, I'm going to say the jovenazo of the season is a tie between Elias Montiel, 19-year-old for Pachuca. It's been a disaster season for them, but he's played 9 games. And he's all over the place. He's got like 3 lungs. He gets yellow cards a lot because he's feisty. He's probably my personal pick for the best youngster. 19 years old, starter, just the whole world ahead of him. And then we have Violante for Toluca. He's 21 years old. I said he was 19 or 20 earlier, but he's 21, and he's got 4 goals, 1 assist thus far. I think he's the real deal. If I had to like bank on any player going to Europe, it's going to be Violante. I know Ricky would disagree with me in regards to him, but I do think he's got a good ceiling, and I expect a lot from him. And then, of course, we have Iker Fimbres, 19-year-old center midfielder for Rayados, who only started due to injury, but he scores a doblete, scores a wonder goal from outside the box. That was just a peach of a goal, a real thunder cunt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. I loved him. He was at the right place at the right time for his first goal, and then just the audacity to shoot that straight bullet at goal was just wonderful to see. And I can't wait to see more from him. He's only 19 years old from Hermosillo, Sonora. And then right next to him was Fidel Ambris, 21-year-old boss in the midfield against a big team in Tigres, a stacked team. So props to that duo, that dynamic duo, and then of course Chino Huerta, 23 years old with a
Mm.
doblete for Pumas, heating up. He got a goal, during the break for La Selección. So this guy, he's heating up at the right time. We'll see how he ends the season, but he's having a good one for sure. And yeah, that was my young boys roundup. Thanks for having me, everyone, and let's keep an eye on these jovenazos.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey Jaime, I just wanted to add one thing because I seen you. I think you're the one that posted it.
Yep.
The Nene Beltrán was saying that he didn't want Gago anymore, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How many coaches has this guy survived already? Like 10 coaches? This shit's crazy. He's like the plague. He's like a cockroach. You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean,
How many
Nene,
coaches? It's like literally 10 coaches, isn't it?
I think you underestimate Nene Beltran's influence in the locker room. I mean, he's worn the captain's armband quite a few times, so I think he's considered like one of the leaders of the team. So it's his way or the highway. And I know that under Vuse, he was basically erased from the team, and thank God after that, he's flourished under all kinds of coaches. Um, but yeah, I was surprised for him to go on record and say that. Kind of goes to show that things weren't peachy under Gago. And I think a lot of the players probably feel sort of disrespected. The fact that he abandoned the project in the middle of the season. I'm sure a lot of players are like, "Wow, this guy was not committed at all." But yeah, I want to thank everyone for hopping on tonight. It was a great episode. I love double jornadas. We will have more Chivas action on Friday, so stay tuned. Don't have any closing thoughts. I did pin a tweet with Liga de Expansión. It looks like Tapatio is doing one hell of a job. A lot of the number one ranked players in their respective position are playing for Tapatio. I wonder if this is their ceiling, Liga de Expansión, or if some of these players will start trickling into the first team. But I would love to see some of these guys on this list get called up for Chivas. We could always use the competition. But that's all I got for you guys tonight. Want to thank you all, and we'll catch you on the next one. Good night.